No DQ Galaxy, we are live with a recap of Monday Night Raw for February 26th, 2024. We are coming off the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event in Australia. The WWE crew coming right back to the United States for Raw. It is a brutal schedule. Shout out to everybody that does it. It's a lot to endure, that's for sure. Now, let's get to Raw. We are fully on the road to WrestleMania. We are full speed ahead. Let's talk about what happened on this show. We had an Elimination Chamber recap, and then we had the Raw Women's Champion. We had Rhea Bloody Ripley introduced by Dominic Mysterio, as usual, booed out of the building. He referred to her as the greatest women's champion of all time. Rhea cut a promo, said it doesn't matter how big you are, mommy always comes out on top. Becky Lynch, her challenger for WrestleMania, quickly came down to the ring and said that Rhea's family will not have to fly to WrestleMania to see her lose. Dominic was not amused with this. And then we had a little stare down between Becky and Rhea. Rhea and Dominic left, but then Nia Jax attacked Becky Lynch, and officials had to come out there to separate them. And then we had a backstage segment where Nia said that Becky should not be going to WrestleMania after Nia beat Becky clean on Raw not too long ago. And this set up a match for later. We had Nia Jax going up against Liv Morgan. More on that in a few moments. Solid opening segment here to kick off Raw. And then we had our first match of the evening, Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura. A little lackluster in the beginning. We had 2 commercial breaks, not a lot going on, very basic match. But then after the second break, it started to pick up. Shin had control for a while, and then Sami Zayn busted out the Blue Thunder Bomb and got the 1-2-3 victory. No, I'm kidding. Blue Thunder Bomb did not pick up the victory, and then Shin regained the upper hand. He came off the second rope with a Kinshasa, but Zayn kicked out, and then Shin took out Zayn on the outside of the ring. Zayn was barely able to get back into the ring, but Zayn recovered. He had not 1 but 2 haluva kicks, and he was able to score the clean victory over Shinsuke Nakamura. Turned into a good match here with these two. And then we had Raquel versus Chelsea Green. Before the match, Green filed a formal complaint. She said she was competing in protest because she should have won the Battle Royal, and she would have won if it wasn't for Raquel being a surprise entrant in that match on last week's Raw. Raquel came to the ring. We had our match. Chelsea slapped Raquel, and that did not work out well for her. It was a glorified squash match here. Raquel made short work of her, fall away slam, and then finished her off with the Tahana Bomb. Easy victory for Raquel. We'll see what direction she goes in heading into WrestleMania. And then Sami Zayn cut a backstage promo talking about his win, saying he really needed the win to start building up some momentum. And then the Intercontinental Champion Gunther approached Zayn and basically laughed in his face. So we got a little bit of a tease here, maybe Sami Zayn going for the Intercontinental title, but there could be other contenders. More on that in just a few moments. Cody Rhodes did a brief backstage interview talking about The Rock, talking about how he got slapped across the face, and then brought up his opponent for the Raw main event, Grayson Waller. We had Imperium come into the ring for a promo. You had Gunther giving Jey Uso credit for their match last week. Gunther said that he was lucky, but he is close to perfect. And he said he got through Jey, and now it's time to focus on who his opponent is going to be for WrestleMania. Would it be Sami Zayn? Would it be Chad Gable? Would it be Miz? Would it be R-Truth? Judgment Day showed up, which I thought was very interesting. Judgment Day came down and said that Imperium has had a great run, only second to Judgment Day. Damian Priest said they plan on adding more gold to the faction at WrestleMania, including the Intercontinental title. And Gunther wanted to know which member was going to face him. And Dominic, of all people, got in Gunther's face, and Gunther ended up shoving Dominic after Dominic said that the Intercontinental title belongs to Judgment Day, and things started to get heated, but Judgment Day did back off. And then backstage, Judgment Day ran into Andrade, and Andrade told Dominic Mysterio he'll see him soon. All of this was a very interesting segment, in my opinion, because it's creating a lot of different possibilities for the IC title. And I did see somebody on Twitter/X bring up an idea where maybe they could have like a multi-way match on night one, and the winner of that faces Gunther for the title on night two. Because this could definitely be a match where you get a lot of people on the WrestleMania card, and then that sets up like a really strong opponent for Gunther. You got Sami Zayn, you got Chad Gable, and we'll talk about Gable here in just a moment. And now you got potentially the Judgment Day. Could we have Dominic in this match? Could we have Andrade possibly going for the title? Like they got to figure out something for Andrade at WrestleMania. Caleb Jacobs sent in a $2.30 super chat. Thank you for that, Caleb. I appreciate it. Said, do you think Damian Priest could cash in on Gunther? They certainly teased that idea, and Priest had the briefcase out there, but I still think he's going for the world title. Like, I feel that we're going to get a tag team title defense from Balor and Priest at WrestleMania, and maybe it'll be JD McDonough and or Dominic in that IC title contention match, if that's even where this is all going. They may just go with a one-on-one match for WrestleMania and set something up over the next several weeks. Keep in mind, we got over a month until WrestleMania. And Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Walter. I appreciate it. It says, if anyone should lose to the Blue Thunder Bomb, it's Nakamura. Also, what the hell, Heyman? That was gimmick infringement you stole from Noah and me. I'm not sure what Walter is talking about with Paul Heyman, but we'll get to Paul Heyman in just a little bit. And I'm fine with Nakamura losing to the Haluva kick. Like, Nakamura, you got to try to keep him strong in defeat like that. People would complain about that. If Nakamura lost to a Blue Thunder Bomb, people on Twitter would lose their minds. They'd be like, he's getting buried again. He needs to leave WWE. You know how it is. So I'm fine with the Haluva kick, and it took two of them. So I'm fine with that. You know, they're trying to protect Nakamura a little bit. We had Imperium versus New Day in a street fight. Really good match here with these guys. I thought this was, I mean, this isn't saying much. We're only in February, but this was probably the best WWE TV match of the year up to this point. Entertaining match. They brawled all over the place. Xavier Woods used his trombone, and Imperium, they did the old heel heat moment where you had the table. The fans were chanting, "We want tables," and they shoved the table back under the ring. They used chairs, kendo sticks, the whole 9 yards. And then New Day took over. They got the upper hand. Xavier jumped off the top rope with a flying elbow drop, putting one of the Imperium guys through a table. And the crowd chanted, "Holy shit." Then Kaiser pulled out the referee when Vinci was on the verge of being pinned. I think it was Vinci that went through the table. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." Justified "This is awesome" chants for this match. And then Vinci sent Kofi off the top rope. Kofi crashed through another table that was laid out on the outside. And then Vinci hit Woods with a chair, and then Kaiser threw Woods into a chair that was set up in the corner, and then he rolled up. Woods got the 1-2-3 victory. I very much enjoyed this match. Well done by everyone. Imperium picks up some momentum. New Day doesn't really need it at this point. New Day will always have the fan following. Maybe one day Big E will return and they can have one more run. We'll see. Never say never, right? Now, here's what I was talking about with Chad Gable in the IC title picture. Gable approached Adam Pearce, brought up how Gunther is looking for a challenger at WrestleMania, and said that he is coming to Pearce as a father. He said he's still haunted that his daughter was reduced to tears, and said that he needs to make it right. And Pearce said he has a lot to think about. Again, I think this is leading to some sort of multi-way match, because now Sami Zayn's talking about wanting the title. Chad Gable wants one more shot. Judgment Day is getting involved. It definitely feels like we're going to have something with numerous people going after Gunther and trying to get that opportunity. We had Drew McIntyre. Well, actually, before that, we'll get to McIntyre in a minute. We had a tag team match, and really this wasn't much of a match. It was Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Baszler and Stark were upset that they did not get the Elimination Chamber kickoff spot against the champions, and glorified squash match. Candice and Indy got a little bit of offense in, but then Shayna tapped out Indy with the clutch. Just a match to elevate Baszler and Stark. Like I could see them getting the WrestleMania match against Kabuki Warriors. They're trying to do something with the women's division with the tag teams, but they still got a lot of work to do. And we also had R-Truth backstage with The Miz and DIY, and they all have a plan to get some revenge on Judgment Day, apparently. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we had Drew McIntyre. He came to the ring. He cut this great promo. He said he thanked everyone for praying for him to win the chamber. And then he admitted he got hurt. He was feeling like hell after that chamber match, and he talked to a doctor, and the doctor said maybe he should not compete at WrestleMania, but he said that he's not CM Punk. Nothing is stopping him from making it to WrestleMania. So he got a little CM Punk dig, and not only that, but he sat down in the ring just like CM Punk did for the pipe bomb. He did the old sitting down promo. So yeah, I like that McIntyre keeps taking the shots at CM Punk. You have to think McIntyre is staying with the company, and whether he's signed a new contract or not, it has to be happening. Like you got this money promo with CM Punk when Punk is able to come back. And McIntyre called out Seth Rollins, and he also said since CM Punk is straight edge, he drank for both of them in celebration of his victory. Great stuff here from McIntyre. And then Rollins came out there, And McIntyre brought up how Rollins needs to be 100%. Rollins needs to not focus on the bloodline, and he told Rollins to back off from the bloodline. And Rollins said McIntyre might be right. And as it turns out, WrestleMania might be an easy night for Drew McIntyre. But what if he's wrong? Rollins said that some risks are worth taking. He's been very selfish throughout his career, but after having his daughter, he realized not everything is about him. And he said taking down the bloodline is bigger than them. He said that they can rip the bloodline apart and then secure the future of the industry, have it be just the two of them at WrestleMania. And he told McIntyre, may the best man win. Rollins did a great job here. Both guys did awesome on the mic. Rollins has been on fire as of late on the mic. He's been cutting some great promos, as has Drew McIntyre. So thumbs up for this segment. Shout out to Walter Cruz, who sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Walter. I appreciate it. He says, maybe a multi-man ladder match for the IC title at WrestleMania. Don't bet anything this time. Aaron and Heyman said digress, which is Noah, then shtick, which is Walter's line. Well, I completely missed that. So thank you for bringing that up, Walter. And that's a little jumping ahead here, but we'll talk about what happened at the end in just a few moments. His computer gets slow, so he needed to make sure he got that super chat in. I don't think they're going to do the multi-way match for the title because I really don't think Gunther should be in some sort of 5 or 6-way match for the IC title. I much prefer the idea of a multi-way match for the night 2 spot against Gunther. I think that's a better way to go with that, in my opinion. We had Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan, and Nia was dominating the early part of the match. And then she went for the leg drop on the apron. Liv moved out of the way. Nia leg dropped the apron. Sadly, she did not scream "my hole" when she hit that apron. I was really hoping she would give us a live crowd, post-shutdown reaction, "my hole," in front of the sold-out crowd in San Jose, California. Unfortunately, we did not get her screaming out "my hole." I was disappointed, but the match continued, and Liv Morgan started to build up some momentum. She came off the top with a missile drop kick, hit a code breaker, but Nia kicked out, and then they ended up on the outside. Nia caught Liv jumping off the apron, but then Becky Lynch attacked Nia, causing a disqualification. Now, Nia escaped, but what was interesting here was the reaction of Liv Morgan. She was not happy because she took an L here thanks to Becky Lynch interfering. She lost the match, and she was not happy. Backstage, Becky Lynch approached Adam Pearce, said she needs to finish things with Nia before she can focus on WrestleMania. So Adam Pearce made a match, Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax on next week's show. But then Liv Morgan showed up and said that not everything has to be about Becky Lynch. The plot thickens. Maybe a heel turn for Liv Morgan? Interesting. WWE paid tribute to Ole Anderson, who unfortunately passed away at the age of, I believe, 81. He was one of the founding members of the Four Horsemen. He was part of the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. He wrestled for AWA, Jim Crockett Promotions, WCW. He was involved behind the scenes in several years in WCW. So he had a noteworthy career in the 1980s. RIP Ole Anderson. WWE put up the graphic. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee had a few words. Nice little tribute there. On short notice, the news broke like about an hour before Raw started. We had Grayson Waller and Austin Theory backstage, and Paul Heyman very briefly walked in the background, and WWE played up on this later on. And then Cody was interviewed. He talked about, or not Cody, Waller was talking about Cody disrespecting him in his own country and said that Cody is never going to finish his story. Shout out to Hamp Connell, who sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Hamp. Much appreciated. Today in history from 2001, the Monday Night War would enter its final 4 weeks as Nitro aired from New Orleans, Louisiana, and Raw from Phoenix, Arizona. It's crazy to think that that was 23 years ago that the Monday Night War ended. Man, I remember those days very well. Like, I remember the Monday Night War period. So, yeah, it's crazy that 23 years have passed. Where has the time gone? We had Jey Uso cutting a backstage promo, and he talked about falling short, but then Drew McIntyre approached him and said that what happened to Jey with Jimmy screwing him over last week was what Jey deserved. And Jey, of course, was not happy about this. This led to them brawling, and I guess we'll see what happens here. No real setup for Jimmy versus Jey yet, but you have to know it's coming up for WrestleMania. Maybe they'll do this match, and we'll have something to set up Jimmy versus Jey at WrestleMania. And as Building Nexus said with a $5 super chat, they need to get the ball rolling on the Uso match build. You're right on that, and maybe next week we'll see Jimmy interfere again. I don't know where they're going with this, but yeah, we do need to see something and get those promos going. We're coming into March here. Only got about 5 weeks left of build. So yeah, they got to get to it. And hey, we got a lot of interesting things coming up. So, we need to have the Usos in the mix here so it doesn't really get lost in the shuffle at this point. Yeah, no Jey Uso match, at least as far as on the live show. I don't know if he did a dark match or not. Maybe somebody can find that out for me if he was in a dark match. But yeah, no Jey Uso match on Raw this week. And we had our main event, Cody Rhodes versus Grayson Waller. Pretty basic match here. And it ended early, which, means angle alert. Something's happening here. Grayson Waller got the upper hand for a while. Cody made his comeback. Austin Theory was out there. He was trying to get involved. Cody sent him over the announce table. And then Waller tried to take advantage. Waller went for his rolling clothesline, but Cody countered, hit the cutter, and then finished him off with the crossroads. No surprise here. Basic match. But then we had the big angle at the end. Paul Heyman showed up, and Cody grabbed the chair because he felt like this was going to be some kind of an ambush attack. Heyman said he's the only bloodline member there, although he was with security. And he said he knows Cody Rhodes is upset about getting Will Smith by The Rock, the slap. That was what Will Smith did with the slap a couple years ago at the Oscars or whatever it was. And he said that Heyman said that Cody needs to take The Rock's name out of his mouth. And Heyman warned Cody to withdraw the challenge to The Rock or else. And Cody responded. He was very fired up. He was passionate. He said that himself and the fans, everyone, they were fans of The Rock. But Cody said he's fed up. He's done playing nice. And then Heyman and the security started to get into the ring, and Cody warned them to back off or he would drop every single person. Heyman started to enter the ring, and at this point, Cody Rhodes beat the hell out of the security guards, and He used the steel chair. Heyman escaped, but then he pulled out his phone. He said, "Call Roman Reigns." He picked up his phone, "Call Roman Reigns." And then he had a second cell phone which had the Rock's graphic on the back, "Call the Rock." He had two phones to call these guys, which was pretty amusing. And Cody had the final line of the night. He said that the bloodline is not hunting him. He is hunting the bloodline. I liked that line from Cody. Very entertaining segment to end the show. I enjoyed it. Setting up SmackDown with The Rock, building up some drama for that. Shout out to Mike, who sent in a $5 super chat. He says, "Nia Jax just lost 48 pounds. Never felt better. WWE's response, welcome back. Your new finisher is the bonsai drop." I mean, it still works for Nia. You know, she is, you know, like the Andre the Giant of the women's division. So, you know, she is taller and bigger than the other women. So you have her use the power moves. You know, she is like the monster, you know, going up against the 5'2", 100-pound women. You know, she's going to be in that role. And, you know, great that she lost some weight, though. You know, definitely she has looked and performed better than she did when she left. So credit to her. Overall, I thought Raw was a really good show. I mean, it was pretty entertaining for a 3-hour show. Loved the ending. We had some good wrestling on the show. New Day versus Imperium, definitely worth checking out. I give the show a B+. I thought Raw was a strong show to wrap up the Elimination Chamber stuff and start to set up WrestleMania, but most importantly, setting up Friday SmackDown with The Rock coming back. And how about this? The Rock is going to be on 3 shows, 3 SmackDowns in a row, starting this Friday. I'm liking it. Like, I'm hoping The Rock will be around for the long haul. As he said, he's playing the long game. And I definitely am up for some more Rock. And he's not just going to be showing up once before WrestleMania. He's going to be on the next 3 weeks. That's pretty cool. So should be an exciting time. We are now, like I said, firmly on the road to WrestleMania. We got a lot going on here. Looking forward to what's coming next. We got Dynamite coming up on Wednesday and Revolution this weekend. Predictions, for those of you that are wondering, predictions will be Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We're going to wait till after Dynamite to have a final card, and we'll do our predictions this coming Thursday night. Check it out. That'll be on the No DQ YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you to everybody watching, whether it's live or on demand again. Have a great week, everyone. Take care. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com. Buy a shirt, NoDQ.com/merch, and say yes to NoDQ.com. I'll see you all next time.